Good day, everyone, and we're live and we're gonna check the markets. Of course, we have semiconductors ripping higher. We have Bitcoin also hitting resistance right now. There's a lot to talk about today, and yeah, we're gonna just chill here, look at some charts. If you have questions, just let me know. We can discuss them. Want to say hi to Jeroen, Small Fry, Bien. Hi, Kelsey. Um, put a 1 in the chat if you hear me. If you don't hear me, then I need to change the mic. Um, so, guys, if you hear me, you can put a 1 in the chat. Hi, Brooksy, Gary, Axel, Cameron. I think you can hear me, right? So, um, first of all, hi, Robert. Let's look at the the price charts. Okay, Brooksy, you can hear me. Thumbs up. That's perfect. The price chart of the semiconductors. So I have it here in front of me, and of course, everyone is talking about it when you're on Substack, on X. People are super euphoric about their position in AMD, in Micron. There's a lot of other semiconductors, of course. We have the ETF now up another few percentage points in the pre-market, and the price is really starting to get silly, basically. So we are here to look and see if we can find a way to distill this. Are these price actions that can continue higher, or is it something we need to be cautious for? I'm gonna show you a few charts that can maybe answer these questions, and I will let you know like what I'm doing, and if I'm selling, if I'm buying, if I'm selling, whatever I'm buying instead. So yeah, let's begin with looking at the first chart. So we have this one I just sent out to the chat in the panic drop chat. So here we can basically see a comparison between the price action of the semiconductor ETF in 2000, when we had the financial crisis, all the way up to, so it says from pa, 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 let me check what I wrote. So over 2 years, in the year 2000, it was up 312%. Compare this with today, it's up 250% over 2 years. So still below what we saw during the dot-com crash. And then over that 5-year period, in the year 2000, we had a 900% gain. And now it's around 470% gain for semiconductors sector. And this is research done by Ned Davis Research. And what they're implying is that there is still some room to go. So they're not saying that this is the absolute bottom. And yeah, I think we can agree on that there is still more room to go. The AI boom is still ongoing, because we have so many big companies investing in AI, and they're not slowing down. So you could say as long as that pace is going, you can still hold on some of these semiconductors. Now, I personally wouldn't go chase right now. Maybe wait for a correction. So if you look at how AMD, for example, did. So I know it's up another 20% pre-market, like 15% now, which is huge. And all the way from we had that April bottom during the Iran war, it's now up already 80%. So in total, with today, it would be up 110%, which is crazy. And it's bigger than the rise we saw in previous moves before we saw a correction. So, yeah, maybe um, today will be one of those huge volume days where we do see a little pullback in the coming weeks. And that's just normal price action. Now, I did the comparison with NVIDIA. So, of course, people are hating on NVIDIA right now. If you look at how it's doing since this year, so you have AMD basically outperforming NVIDIA, which is the blue line, for the whole year. And okay, this is possible, and you could say AMD is very strong and this will continue higher. But looking at the long-term picture, so let's say a few years, you can see how much NVIDIA has been outperforming AMD. So in my opinion, we have the leader, which is NVIDIA, a little bit consolidating after doing a parabolic move itself. So you can see this price action was pretty similar, 120% gains in just a few months. So pretty crazy as well. And now it has been consolidating as well, while AMD is actually um, picking up the pace. And I think it's more like a catch-up trade than really a leader trade. So um, my preference is still going to taking positions in the leader and not the um, second pick. I prefer to remain positioned in the one that is leading the sector instead of the one that is following the lead. I think when AMD is gonna um, release earnings and it's maybe gonna be good, but not as good as we've seen in the last couple of earnings calls, then investors might just lose interest and they're gonna look for better opportunities out there. While Nvidia will be down, I think it's down 4% in the same period, while AMD is up 60%. So um, if you think about it, after such a parabolic move, that's impressive. I don't think AMD will just have a 4% correction after such a move. I would think that if AMD corrects down, it's gonna be more like 20, 30% correction. A little bit like we're seeing in Palantir right now. So I know a lot of people invested in Palantir a little bit too late. I remember buying below $10 and I basically wrote it all up and then I started to scale out, of course. And this parabolic move, as you can see, has been going on for several weeks already as well. So uh, it's now 4 months, and usually it takes around 6 to 1 year for such a move to be absorbed. Right now I am buying Palantir and I will be buying more if it drops lower. So my goal is always to position myself into position in stocks whenever they are out of favor. And right now we have, of course, semiconductors very in favor. and we have other sectors like software stocks, AI stocks, that are more doing services. Those are the companies that are beaten down. That's where I like to invest my money. Another one I like is ServiceNow. So ServiceNow is down from the highs around 62%. I have my calculation about its fair value around 205. So that's still a lot of upside. We know earnings are still doing good. They're using AI to improve the business. So for me, this is just a great opportunity, and it might take some time, but I'm just gonna continue to accumulate, and wait for the repricement to shift. So that's how I invest. I look for opportunities where the market is beaten down, but the fundamentals remain very strong. Microsoft, another one, just reported great earnings, but it didn't really move the needle here on the earnings report. So if it drops lower, I will continue to buy Microsoft. Now, my biggest position basically in my eToro portfolio is still NVIDIA. So that's a semiconductor. So I'm keeping some allocation into the semiconductor sector, but by choosing the leader, the one that, is probably going to pick it up again when AMD Micron cools off. Let me check if we have um, more questions in the chat. Hi, Christian, for flying. Thanks for joining. So let's continue. I wanted to talk about my position in NVIDIA. There was a good one, I think. Yeah, this one. So good statistics from Blue Kurtik, and they analyzed all the NVIDIA moves when it was 5 days down within 20% from all-time high, and a drawdown under 10%. And so what they see is that if you go 1 month later, 10 of the 11 times, so 1 month later, here, this column, so 10 of the 11 times it will be higher. And this was measured on the 5th of April. So if we go to NVIDIA and let's check the 5th of April. So basically here, or was it the 5th of May? Maybe it's the 5th of May. Yeah, it's May, the 5th of May. So the 5th of May, which was yesterday. So that means at the price of 196 1 month later, so somewhere in early June, it's gonna be higher than this price. Let me double check. The 5th of May or the 4th of May. Yeah, the 4th of May. The 4th of May closing price was $198.45. So you should draw a line here. Draw a line. And if you see NVIDIA basically trading below it for the next couple of days, you know in in 1 month time, so for June would be 1 month later, it's a high probability that Nvidia will be trading above around $189. Okay, so 198, sorry. So that means if the price is in this zone, you want to be buying. So this zone, if it's right now in this zone, so you want to be buying Nvidia because it's a high probability that after 1 month the price will be higher. That's based on these statistics. Now, of course, can it be lower? Of course, this is just talking probabilities here, but it's a very low probability that it will still be lower. And we know Nvidia is quite a solid company you want to hold in your portfolio. Eventually, it's going to be way, way higher in the future. But this is just more like a buy the dip opportunity for those who want to take it. Let me know if you find this interesting. You can type 1 in the chat so I know. Because these are like very specific quants that can help me take trades. Another reason why to stay bullish on stocks and maybe also semiconductors is this chart. So we know prices follow earnings, and you saw this in the .com era. Revenues went higher, but earnings fell down, and that's when basically we had the .com bubble burst. And right now, if you look at where we are today, so we have earnings and revenue trending higher. So there's still more upside in the tank. Of course, short-term corrections are always possible, especially with the ongoing war. But yeah, this makes me confident that I will be buying the dip in tech stocks, especially because it's the tech stocks that are giving most of the growth. So that's where I will be buying the dip for my portfolio. Also, another interesting quant where you can see on the 26th of the year, so 1 May, there was another signal showing a 5-week streak within 13% gain, with a 13% gain, which only occurred 7 times, and 2 months later the index was positive 100%. So this column is showing for now 2 months later from where the market closed on 1 May, the market remained higher 2 months later. So let's draw this on the chart. So when we go to the SPX and we have 1 May, and we're gonna draw a line. This was 1 May. Okay. And then 2 months later, so that will be 2nd of July or 1st of July. Yeah. So whatever the market does in this window, when it trades lower, it's basically a buying opportunity based on probabilities. So we are still above it, but let's say Trump tweets something and the market drop in this box. The quant is saying there's a high probability 2 months later the market is going to be higher than this level. So the level is 7,237. Okay, very, very interesting, no? So this can help you guide for taking trades. Let's see if there's another one I found, or if there's a chart you want me to discuss, please let me know. The probability of the market ending green is now extremely high. Why? Whenever the market, so the S&P 500, ends in April near all-time high, there is a 100% probability the market remains green for the year. So that means if we go to the chart again, the 12-month chart, this is 1 year. So right now the market is up 6% for the year. And it's basically saying it's gonna remain above this level here, above 6,839. So I'm gonna draw it on the chart right here. So imagine the market has some big correction again below this line, then um, it's very probable there will be a correction, a recovery above by the end of the year. Okay, so that was another one, very interesting. Of course, market is now up 6% for the year. Not much we can do right now. And then also following up on a new all-time high in May, which makes the odds of a 20% correction very low. So we said in the beginning of the year, and this was based on the midterm years, that usually we have around 20% corrections during a midterm year. But of course, it's impossible to time this, and as the year progresses, you get new data. And April had at least 2 all-time highs, and May now made also 2 all-time highs, and that's basically telling us that the probability of a 20% correction is very low. So it's saying it never exceeded 13% corrections. This is also a way for you to understand that whenever there is like a correction, and let's say it's going down 10%, you definitely want to be buying the S&P 500, maybe some bigger stocks like the tech stocks, Max 7. But yeah, all these quants are showing that it's bullish for the market, bullish to be buying the dip. And yeah, maybe we can look a little bit on the crypto side. So I know a lot of people are watching Bitcoin, of course. So we said that we follow the 4-year cycle. So if we put up the chart of the 4-year cycle here, normally how a cycle evolves, it's 3 years up and 1 year down, which is very simple explained, but that's just how it went for the last few cycles. And we said, okay, as long as this 1 year bear phase isn't over, I don't want to be fully allocated into Bitcoin. But I understand like this move is getting pretty wild. It's making high after high every day. So it's basically giving people doubt whether this is the end, and the market already bottomed and this is the end of the bear market. So there's always a probability that that's the case. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm stuck with emotions as well. I'm not gonna lie. Um, we had a clear bullish setup, so I'm gonna show this on another chart here. So where the price went below the swing low of April 2025 here, you can see the big um, takeout of this sweep low by this red candle, and then we see a big, huge green candle from the bottom all the way up to above the swing low and close very bullish. So that's a bullish setup for the crypto market, and that's when I said to my followers in the chat, okay, I am going to take a position. It's not gonna be a full allocation, but it's just like in case the market is going to rip higher. Indeed, we need to be at least positioned a little bit stronger in the market, but I'm still leaning more bearish just because right now we're at this resistance level. We want to see it break, of course, before saying the bull market has started. Um, it's a little bit more visible on the weekly chart. So here's the weekly chart. You can see that this resistance, it's a resistance that we have been following for a while now, and Bitcoin is now pushing up against it. We also have the 200 moving average. The wait, let me see. That's on the daily. So the 200 moving average at the same point, so confluence of resistance. And then if we go to the weekly, we have the 50-week moving average a little bit higher at around 95, which is also a important level where we can face some resistance. And last cycle, it even went above it and then reversed down. So I would say as long as we are still below at least 85, then I'm still giving more favor to the bears, and that we're gonna see something like this where the market might even exceed here, but a lot of buyers are gonna step in late, and then uh, we see another leg down. I wouldn't dare to say that it's gonna be a lower low now because we're already past the halfway of the bear market cycle. But yeah, I don't see it go up into new highs in a straight line. So we will probably see some corrections. And for now, I'm still following the cycle roadmap where, yeah, there's still a little bit time left for the year where we could see some volatility, especially if the S&P is going to start to have a little correction. I wouldn't be surprised that Bitcoin remains correlated. Also, very important to note, the S&P is at all-time high, making new all-time highs basically every week, and we have Bitcoin really stalling here. I really wished it was a little bit stronger and way higher, but you would expect in a bull market that when the S&P 500 is making new all-time highs, that Bitcoin as well is going parabolic, and that's just how the bear phase of a 4-year cycle moves. That being said, I wouldn't recommend not being positioned in Bitcoin. So I always said I'm gonna have some position in crypto. Um, I held at least a few percentage position in crypto when there was a confirmed bear market. So crypto I didn't sell, and now, yeah, accumulating slowly. I think I can go up to 20% in crypto if I want. um, and mainly in Bitcoin, especially because we're seeing a lot of Bitcoin dominance, especially going higher. So the Bitcoin dominance chart is very telling. Money is flowing into Bitcoin and not so much into altcoins. If you compare just Bitcoin versus Ethereum, so maybe best to compare on the daily chart. You can see there was some resistance here that Bitcoin broke, and right now Ethereum is still below this resistance. So um, it's again getting rejected here at 2,400, which is not such a good sign to see, especially for the altcoin market. There will be moves in altcoins, of course, but I remain cautious and I remain skeptical unless, we see that October timeframe coming more near here. And I would be fine for it to do something like this, where it goes a little bit higher, but then sideways for a while, and it does basically nothing. And once we reach this point in October 2026, then I'll know enough time has passed, just like it did in previous cycles, and yeah, I will be buying with more conviction for the next bull market to start, because I do think the narrative is still there with all the institutions and inflows in the ETFs, of course. So that's it. I mean, if you want me to discuss something more, um, leave a like. I see 80 joined, Gator joined. Um, Let me know. If you have questions, you can private chat me. But that's basically it for today. Brooksy has a question. Could you please give an update on the balanced price, realized price, and true mean price for Bitcoin? Did they change since you mentioned them in the Bitcoin report a few weeks ago? If it's not possible now, maybe it's possible one of your next posts. Yeah, I'm gonna try. So give me a second. First I need to go to because I don't remember what the levels were. So we have to check what you're asking. Sorry. So we have balanced price. So I'm using the ITC website for this information, which is very useful. Balanced. I know it's in the crypto charts. Let's see. Realized price, maybe. So there's a few we are able to check. The one I'm basically checking all the time is the supply in profits or loss. So Brooksy, sorry that I changed direction here, but this is the one I watch more closely, because whenever they cross, it's usually when there is a bottom, and right now they missed very closely, so you can see they didn't really touch, and normally they touch. So is this enough for a bottom? Of course, we can only see in hindsight, so that's one I check a lot, and maybe I should check my own panic drop newsletter to see which one you're referring to. So this one, did we check this? The realized gap. Yes, this is the one. Market value to realized value. Okay. So here it is. And it's slowly moving up, but we said we want to see it go lower, actually, lower to these levels near 0.3. And now it's at 0.8. So not ideally to really call this a confirmed bottom. Okay, so this was the one we checked in the last report. And then terminal price, yes. Let's see how it's doing. Let's zoom. So here you can see how they are doing compared to the other cycles. They usually go lower. So this was the bottom of 2022, where you saw price going between the realized price and the balanced price. Of course, I think it's normal that not much has changed because Bitcoin went up in recent weeks since the last on-chain report. So that's why um, we cannot say much has changed actually. So I would still um, repeat myself, say I remain cautious. I want to see um, more of a flush before really calling the bottom. So I'm really cautious on calling the bottom just because we still have this small time frame to work on. Yeah, I hope this answers your question, Brooksy. We are 22 people live. Everyone, thanks for watching. Um, Again, you can always message me. By the way, maybe one more thing I can show you. This is just off the charts. It's just if you know me and been following me, I've been using like um, a separate crypto wallet to trade using AI. Um, so one of those wallets is trading spot Bitcoin, and the other one is using leverage. It's up 38% since entering the trade. So it's my AI agent that automatically entered this trade. So um, I will show you the entry. Here it is. So this is where I entered the position, and here is my stop loss, all placed automatically, by the way, by my AI agent. And yeah, how it works is I have this indicator that is made also using AI. It's called the Bitcoin squeeze indicator, and I really like it. It's tested on blind data, which means data it has never seen before, which is much stronger and is there to catch the big moves. So I actually, although I am bearish for the year, I just let my AI agent trade, and it took a trade here, as you can see, once the price went above the green cloud here. That was a signal. And for now, it's still long, of course. So it's fun to watch how my AI is trading for me in the back. And if you want to learn how this indicator work, to learn how to basically have an agent trade for you while you sleep, I do have like a small mini course. It's 100 euros, but for paid subscribers, they have free access. I think my subscription is like 140 for a year. So if you add this again, you're only paying like $40. Okay. So yeah, it's just me trying to bring value to the community, and I wanna thank especially those that are with me for many months and bring value. I'm working on a separate strategy now. So as you can see, the spot position is a different strategy. It's a little bit complicated to explain how it works, but I also made a indicator that calculates every level of Bitcoin 1% down. So it shows you clearly from the all-time highs 1%, 2%, 3%, all the way until you have like 60% down. And what my AI agent is doing, it's placing orders at every level. So as you can see, um, it's an order here, 1% lower from all-time highs. Each time it's placing an order. So that means whenever you have this choppy price action, it's gonna buy, and then I ask to sell that position at a 1% gain. So it's gonna buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Um, and also when my AI agent is basically checking the market every 30 minutes, and when he sees like, okay, um, there needs to be a TP placed or a order placed, it will do it all automatically. So it's been a way for me to experiment with AI, just to see how strong it can be, because it's really about training that AI agent in doing what you want. And yeah, you could say like, what if it goes all the way down? Then I'm gonna buy all the way down with my AI agent. That's fine, but I know like um, Bitcoin has proven to really make new all-time highs each cycle, and the mindset is just, we know there's gonna be an all-time high again, so whatever gets bought here will be sold eventually at a 1% gain. So that's basically what this agent is now doing. Uh, I've been training him for a couple of weeks. It's almost ready. Now I'm improving and doing more position sizing, a little bit higher per order to see how that goes. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna um, add this to the module where I, yeah, basically teach you how to use AI for trading. So yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. All right, Francois, thanks for joining. But I'm gonna end the stream here. It's been 43 minutes, and I will share this on my newsletter, of course, where you can rewatch if you like. Okay, guys, Brooksy, Gator, Andy, thanks all for watching, and see you next time. Bye.